From the UN Stronghold in Houston, Texas, I'm your host, Labron Allen, the founder of the Natural Health Clinic, and in a moment, the 9 root causes of heart arrhythmias. Stay tuned for that. Welcome to today's health video. So we're going to be discussing the 9 root causes of heart arrhythmias. Now, let's first talk about what exactly is an arrhythmia. Well, it's the heart is no longer beating in a regular rhythm, and that can create several different kinds of symptoms. It could be an increased or even decreased pulse. It could create headaches. It could create sweating. And if left unattended, without some form of intervention, or you're trying to help yourself, it could lead to even more serious conditions. Now, it's interesting when a person goes to a typical physician, there is really no focus at all on diet. And as you see, that's really a very large area that needs to be looked at as far as heart arrhythmias, and really any other type of health symptom as well. But you'll see why, especially in the case of heart arrhythmia. So what's occurring is the vagal nerve, also called the vagus nerve, is specifically the part of the nervous system that helps to control the rhythm of the heart, or the heartbeat. And that is a part of what is called the autonomic nervous system. And for the autonomic nervous system to function properly, we especially need, in the case of the vagal nerve and heart arrhythmias, a specific B vitamin, and that is vitamin B1. So the question is, what affects vitamin B1? If it's so important that that deficiency within just that vitamin can create heart arrhythmias, we certainly want to know what some of those things are that could cause that deficiency. Well, I'm about to tell you a few things that you have never heard from me before. Are you ready? Get a pen, get a paper, start video recording or audio recording this, because you've never heard this, all right? So, the things that affect vitamin B1 and can create a deficiency are sugar, carbohydrates, alcohol, stress, and certain pharmaceutical drugs. Well, let's just say drugs. So you've never heard those things from my mouth before, right? Especially the sugar and alcohol and carbohydrates, or stress. So the things that typically cause many health concerns also directly cause vitamin B1 deficiencies. Now, what are the root causes? I mentioned earlier 9 root causes of heart arrhythmias. So things that should be looked at, number 1 is thyroid. Now, typically you think hypothyroidism as far as heart arrhythmias, but really it can be hyper as well. So don't just get stuck on, is it lower function or elevated function, whatever the case. Just look at thyroid and rule that out. Number 2 can be something associated with the things that I previously mentioned a moment ago, and that is hyperglycemia. Well, what is hyperglycemia? Well, it's elevated blood sugar. Main cause is through diet. Also, there can be increased levels of glucose due to things like stress, even pain, and so forth. Next, the third cause is something called alkalosis, and that is in effect having too much alkalinity. Now, we always hear constantly, especially in the natural health world, that you want to be as alkaline as possible, and I always tell my clients that is not the case. So there's very expensive water filters that are supposed to alkalinate your water, and that's intention to create a really healthy digestive system, and oftentimes the opposite is quite true. So alkalosis is a root cause of heart arrhythmias. What can cause that is lower potassium, increased cortisol, which goes back into diet and stress as well. Speaking of lower potassium, that also in and of itself is a cause of heart arrhythmias, and what causes low potassium, if all other factors are equal, is a high carbohydrate diet. You see what this keeps going back to, as do most things. Next, something you do not hear from your physician every day, and that is low sodium. So many people are actually on a low sodium diet to help their blood pressure typically, maybe their kidney function, but having a low sodium diet is a reason for heart arrhythmias. Basically, to just put it into a nutshell, what creates heart arrhythmias is an issue with the ratios of your electrolytes, and electrolytes are minerals. Going back to low sodium, so obviously the cause of low sodium can be you are on a low sodium diet. It can be drinking too much water. Many people do that. And what happens is the more water you drink, obviously the more you urinate, and as you urinate you tend to lose those very important minerals, and especially sodium. Of course, the more you sweat, that is also the case, especially in very hot, humid climates like in Texas, South Texas, Houston, etc. And it is very important to make sure that you're getting adequate amounts of sodium. The sixth root cause is lower calcium, or actually increased or elevated levels of calcium as well. Number 7 is lower magnesium. So low levels of magnesium. And the 8th root cause can be surgery, specifically gastric bypass, because that goes into the 9th root cause, which is malabsorption. So if your digestive system has an issue with absorbing the nutrients that you're trying to consume through your diet, which is malabsorption, then obviously you're going to have eventually issues with these specific minerals, these electrolytes that we're speaking of. So definitely gastric bypass does that. Malabsorption includes several different things. It could be things like irritable bowel, or Crohn's, or colitis, or leaky gut, different things like that. So if you know that you tend to have digestive issues, that could be a sign of malabsorptions, and certainly over time it could lead to issues with the ratio of electrolytes. So what are some of the steps that you can take in order to alleviate this symptom from yourself? Well, number 1 is that you need to restore these minerals. And what is the best source of these minerals? In a bottle? Well, maybe, definitely not alcohol. So the best source is vegetables, leafy greens, a wide variety of different vegetables. Number 2, as far as the steps that you can take, is to acidify your body. Again, you don't hear that very often because you always hear about you want to alkalinate and that guards against cancer and this and that is not true. So acidity is one of the main chemicals the body creates, and for a proper functioning digestive system, it's extremely important, especially the stomach. That is an extremely low pH within the stomach, which can be all the way down to 1.2, and certainly not above 3, 3.2, 3.4. Once it gets higher than that, guess what happens? You start having digestive problems. So things that you can do to increase the acidity of the stomach and the digestive system is apple cider vinegar, and in this case a supplement called betaine hydrochloride can be very, very helpful. You need to fix insulin resistance. Basically that means do not eat a crap diet. So stay away from the sugars, stay away from the grains, stay away from the alcohols, and eat good real food like animal proteins and the vegetables, which will also help to replenish the minerals that you're consuming. And finally, in some cases you might need to supplement with a B complex vitamin, not necessarily B1, and I am definitely not referring to the common B complex vitamins that you find in the store at Sam's or Walmart or H-E-B or Walgreens or CVS or even the standard health food stores or Whole Foods or whatever. There are specific B vitamins from food sources that can specifically help with heart arrhythmias and other heart issues as well, and in some cases those are necessary. So if you found this information valuable, if you found it helpful, or you enjoyed watching, then please, as a favor, you can help me out, and that is to share this video, at the very least like it, comment on it. All those things help to improve the algorithm so that more people can see this information and benefit from it, because so many people out there need help in improving their health. So once again, if you would like, share, and comment, I would appreciate that very much. So thanks very much for watching. Again, I'm Leigh Brunellen, the founder of the Natural Health Clinic. Have a great afternoon.